Why, hello! If you're new here, I'm Edie. If you're not, then you probably already know what time it is. I make a lot of art and book related videos, and today I'm back with bookmas. So here we are for bookmas day 1. I'm going to give you guys a little tour of my comic and graphic novel section on my bookshelf. I'm gonna do a bookshelf tour probably eventually towards the very end of the year, but I wanted to make a separate video where I go a little bit in depth of all of the, comics and graphic novels that I have. If you want, I can make another more in-depth video on each individual like comic and like series and stuff, but I thought I'd just give you like a brief overrun of all the comics and graphic novels I own, because the last video I posted about me reading comics and graphic novels did decently well. So I was like, you know what? Some people might be interested in this. So I was like, you know what? I'll talk about all the fun things that I have on my bookshelf that I love talking about, because yeah, I wouldn't have a whole shelf full if I didn't like it. Like, come on. I'm just a tad bit crazy. Whoever gave me my own money, they should be stopped. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, I don't want this intro to get too long, and I don't want this video to be like 40 minutes long. Future Avery if it is. Sorry. But yeah. So without further ado, let's just get into it and let's talk about some of these books I have here. Okay, so I've shifted over a little bit so you can see the first four. So the first four things. Oh my gosh, my kitty is gonna try to do bad things, aren't you? Sorry, my cat was being a very bad boy. So the first four books here we have are the Walking Dead compendiums. Oh goodness, I was talking about this in a previous video, so I'm gonna have to like probably go back there to refer to this because I can't remember on the spot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But there's like over 150, I believe, issues, like 150, 170 issues of The Walking Dead. But each of these compendiums hold about 50 to 70 issues. No, they hold like 40 issues each. 48 issues, I believe, each. Um, and it just goes over like the whole story of The Walking Dead. So the first one is like like the opening, like the intro, how they all meet up together, going to the farm, and then going to the prison. Yeah. And then the second one really gets into like the governor and how that, stuff happens. And then like Alexandria, the kingdom, all of that. And then it ends very briefly on the saviors. And then the third book goes really into the saviors. And that's where you get like Negan and all that stuff. And then it ends kind of and then it kind of gets a little bit to the Whisperers. And the fourth one, you finish out the Whisperer arc. And then you head up to the Commonwealth. And you finish off the story there. I believe there's been like 2 or 3 issues published since where it's just like just smaller like future comics. I believe there's a Negan comic that goes a little bit into Negan's origin and his backstory, which is how we kind of got the Negan episode in the show. And there's also there's also an issue that goes into what's her name? Sophia and Carl's relationship at the end of everything and them having a child. Oh yeah, if you didn't know, Carl and Sophia both live in the comics to the very end, and they get in a relationship. So many things happen in those comics, like, they're crazy. Like, they are crazy. I could do a whole video on them if you want. Like, let me know. They're whack. They're whack. And again, you have to be in a good state of mind to read these books. It's crazy. Next up we have Paper Girls. This was adapted for a show on Prime Video, but guess what? It's sapphic. So do you know what Prime Video did? Cancelled after 1 season. Anyways, if you care about this show, talk about it, sign petitions. It's still very popular because it's a comic book. Like, it's an adaptation. It's not like they just like randomly made a show and they just canceled it after 1 season. No, it has a source material. It has an entire fan base, and you just canceled it. Why? 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 You had Jason Matadugas in the show. Like, no, no. But it was adapted for a show on Prime Video, but it was canceled after 1 season. The first season, absolutely beautiful. I really wanted to get picked up by like HBO or another like platform because it's so good and it deserves to have the story finished out. It's beautiful. And yeah, I mentioned it's sapphic and it's very inclusive. Like it's probably one of the most inclusive comics I've ever read. It takes place in I believe like the 80s. It follows on Hell Day, which is November 1st, the day after Halloween. And we're following 4 paper girls, which are like paper boys, but they're girls, and they just ride around their bikes and they deliver papers. We follow KJ, our queer Jewish protagonist, Mac, who's queer, but she's pretty much she's our white protagonist. Um, oh gosh, now I'm forgetting their names. I love these books. Names. Tiff, our black protagonist, and Aaron, our Asian protagonist, and these girls are on Hell Day. They meet up. Some of them for the first time, others for the third or fourth time. And they're all meeting up, and then some big collision happens, and guess what? They get sent through time to 2019, to the future. How fun! And yeah, they just keep getting shot through time, and it's crazy, and some like absolutely insane things happen in this. It has slight Stranger Things vibes, which is why I picked it up, but it's way better. It's so much better. Like it's insane, beautiful visuals. Again, an amazing queer storyline, and it just follows four amazing badass female characters who, did I mention, are just awesome. Like, yeah, and you can follow them through time and space and like watch them make decisions, and then you realize, oh, did this even matter? It's yeah, and it's all crazy, and it's so sad, and it's so devastating, but it's so beautiful. And Amazon Prime, I will never, ever forgive you for canceling it. Like, never in my whole life. Like, it's so beautiful. Let me get it for you. And yeah, like, it's all incredibly interconnected, and there's like no room for plot holes. Let me tell you. Sometimes I read a comic and there's like so many plot holes. No, there's no plot holes at all. They actually interconnect everything. And there's like a moment where they literally get shot back to the very beginning of time and get to see how literally everything happens and like how it all becomes one big time loop. And it's insane, and I loved it so much, and I was just like, I was freaking the freak out. I was like, yes. So, everyone, go to your local libraries, go to your bookstore, and get Paper Girls. This is the complete edition, but you can also get it in, like, the original, like, issues and volumes collections. Like, this is, like, I forget what it's called, but this is, like, the compendium. You can get, like, an omnibus, or in each individual issue, Yeah. That's comics for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna avoid trying to pull them out because that was a whole hassle. Because it's, especially these ones, my like actual comics, they're all really tall, so they like are all like right. They slide right in there, and they fit really tightly in there. But yeah. Okay, so we went through. There are Image comics. Get it? Because that's the publishing house's Image comics. Now we're gonna go into my Marvel comics section. Pretty big, actually. Not that big. I want it to be bigger, and I have read other Marvel comics. These are just the ones I own physically. You know? Okay. Um. Ooh. Also, as I've gotten more into reading DC comics and just reading more comics in general compared to when I was younger, I realized that I read so many comics by the same author, and it's like, oh, I actually love your writing style. Want to collab? Because like I want to make comics eventually when I graduate out of school. I'm just getting so much inspiration from these. It's like, ugh, it's insane. You're on the tripod, so I don't want to move it. But my cat, this is on a wire. Okay, sorry, yeah. My microphone is on a wire. My cat really likes to play with wires. And he just knocked over my camera trying to play with it, so I kicked him out of the room. So if you hear meowing like that, yeah, it's because he's not allowed in here anymore while I'm filming. I need a new microphone. I want to get a Bluetooth microphone, but I'm kind of poor right now. Maybe I'll buy one after Christmas because I know I'm gonna get money for birthday and Christmas. Don't you love having a birthday that happens to be 3 days after Christmas? Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get into our Marvel comics. Yeah. So I have so many. I've read a bunch of comics by the same author, and it's like, damn, love your writing style, twin. Anyways, so first we have here Moon Knight. Okay, I may have to pull this one out. Who knows? Let's try not to. I have Moon Knight. Okay, who's the author? Jeff Lemire. He's the author. That's not my personal book. But it's beautiful. It goes into like Mark and his DID and just like all of it, and the visuals in this book are so freaking insane. Like, oh my goodness. I love you. I love you. I love all of them. Like, and it goes into his trauma. Guys, we need more characters with DID, and we need to just explore them more. Like, it's genuinely so like interesting and intriguing, and I'm just like, I just have the time of my life reading it. And again, most of these comics, I was just so in love with them that I sat down and read them all within the same, literally like hour. Oh, I wish I had a microphone clip. It broke. At one point, Mark goes to prison. Yeah, crazy things happen. But yeah, let me just show you a quick flip through. Okay, and then there's this moment in the book that I have to talk about that in this comic that is just so beautiful. Mark, Jake, and Steven, like, all of them kind of get transported to this intergalactic, futuristic, ancient Egypt that's like in the middle of outer space, and it's so crazy and dystopian, but the visuals are so like enticing, and it's like, oh my freaking god, your mind is blown reading this comic book. Yeah, it was beautiful. I'm gonna say beautiful a lot. Be warned. Maybe I should have a counter on the screen where every time I say beautiful, I tick it. That might be hard for me personally editing this video, but okay. Okay. So the next book we have is Avengers: The Children's Crusade because I really love the Young Avengers. They're my favorite. I prefer the Young Avengers over the regular Avengers. Don't tell anybody else that. I'm sorry. But I just love them. I love Woke. Yeah. I love America Chavez. I love Tommy and I love Billy. Like no, I would die for them. I would literally die for Tommy and Billy. Like I would do anything for them. And this book is so insane and it's actually given me way too many headcanons and theories about what's gonna happen in Avengers Doomsday. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to go into the theater and watch that because just knowing that they brought back RDJ, they're gonna no, I just know they're gonna pull a Children's Crusade and they're gonna make Wanda get with him and it's gonna be like so fucked up because it's gonna be like, oh, Tony Stark's bombs killed her parents and she's now dating like evil Tony Stark. No, no, it's gonna be so fucked up. It's gonna be so evil and it's gonna be so twisted and I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it if that happens. Like no, I will be keeping up with spoilers because, but I feel like Doomsday is just gonna be like dog. Just as a comic enjoyer, I know it's gonna be trash. It's gonna be trash. Um, but yeah, love the Children's Crusade. Love Cassie. Love Kate. I love the Young Avengers so much. Like I could talk about them for hours and hours and hours. I had to pick this comic up. Like I picked it up like a couple years ago. It's so good. Again, love it. 10 out of 10. Beautiful chef kiss. And again, that I forget who was the illustrator for this comic, but I love that illustrator style so much, and just like that style of comic so much. I was just eating it up every page. I was like, delicious, got nom nom nom. Okay, next, we do not talk about Bruno here for a moment. I absolutely despise the person who wrote this book. I do not condone him in any way, shape, or form. Like, I hate him so much. I hate that I have this book on my shelf. But I do love the characters who it's about. So that's why I have it on my book. I got it way before. I found out literally years and years ago about this in 2022 before I knew who he was as a person. Before I read everything that the allegations and what he's done. So we don't talk about him. But now we have He Who Must Not Be Named Eternals. I'll show you the front cover so I don't have to even speak the name of the person that wrote this book, so I don't have to give him attention. I'm not going to give him anything because he doesn't deserve anything. He deserves life in prison, unfortunately, and he's not going to get that because he's rich and powerful. I absolutely love the Eternals so much. Like, I watched Chloe Zhao's Eternals in 2022, and I'm one of the 5% of the population that adored it. It's my favorite Marvel movie. I've never shown you before, but I had an Eternal shrine up there, and it's still there. I have every single Eternals Funko Pop but Icarus, Dane, and Crow, because one, did not like Icarus. Sorry. Love you, Kit Harington. Harington? No. 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 I forget his name. Richard Madden. Love you, Richard Madden. But I absolutely did not like Icarus. So I didn't get him. Dane, I was just poor at the time and just didn't have the money for him. If I ever see him again, I'll get him. And Crow, he creeped me out, so I didn't get him. But I might, because I love Bill Skarsgård. That man, delish. Love his acting. Please marry me. In an acting way. You know? Like give me all your knowledge and how to be that creepy. I'm sorry, I'm weird. I'm weird, and this is getting weird. But yeah, I got the Eternals. I have another Eternals comic somewhere on here too. And I want more. Like I love the Eternals so much. They're amazing. 10 out of 10. Beautiful. I am again one of the 5 people at Kevin Feige's store still demanding a sequel. Druig and Makari? No. I used to be a diehard Drukari shipper. I've made over 100 edits of them, and I used to make like insane fan art of them all the time. I wanna make another fan art of them soon. I just haven't had the time because I've been doing like mad commissions and I've been really depressed and my fucking carpal tunnel has been acting up. But I used to be like a really big Drukari shipper and I was just making fan art like every day left and right. It was insane. Yeah. I miss all my old like Drukari mutuals. Like, take me back to 2022. Take me back. But yeah, the artwork in this is beautiful. But we don't talk about the person that wrote it. Okay, on to the next. Yes, I told you I had another Eternals comic on here. This is Eternals Only Death is Eternal. Issue 1. Every time I go to the comic store, I can't find any other issues but the first issue, and it's like, guys, give me more, because I know there's at least 2. Give me more, I need it. Yeah, I love the Eternals, I love the Celestials, I love the Cosmic MCU. Has always been my favorite part of the MCU over like your street level Avengers and stuff like that. Like, no, I find space and space powers to be much more interesting than like anything else. Like, no, give me a character who's like a black hole. Like, give me something good. Give me something cool. And the art style in this book is so beautiful, so insane. We'll run through. We'll flip through. Like, look at those colors, guys. Those colors? No. I need everything. I need everything. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. The colors, absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. Need everything. Next, another one of my favorites, or like another one of my favorite, like Marvel movies, Marvel characters, Marvel groups is the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four was probably the first ever Marvel movie I watched as a child, followed by Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and I was just absolutely obsessed. Like, the powers were insane. Jessica Alba was probably my first ever queer awakening. Like, she was my gay awakening. Like, there's no hello. The outfit she wears when she goes to space in the first movie, well, incredibly over-sexualized, made 4-year-old Avery feel things. Yeah, absolutely love the Fantastic Four. I don't have very many comics about them, but I do want more. I follow one of my favorite comic artists has like 6 or 7. No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Has like a few issues about the Fantastic Four that I want to get because again, I love his art. Love his art. So I want to get a few more of that, but I just love the Cosmic MCU, and I love Fantastic Four, and their story is so cute, and they're such a family. Like, they're literally a family. Like, no, like, they're actually a family, and they're way better than any other familial group because they are a family. And that's also how I felt about the Eternals when I watched the movie. I was like, this is an actual family, not a bunch of coworkers hanging out like the Avengers. No offense. That's the found family you want the Avengers to be. I'm just saying. No, people are gonna come in my comments. Please don't. This is a safe space for peace, happiness, and love, where I'm just trying to talk about comic books. But yeah, I only have one Fantastic Four comic, but I want more. I got this one way back in 2022. Right after I found out they were gonna make, the movie. But this one's just really cute. Kind of shows a little bit of their origins, and it's just them fighting crime. Fighting Mole Man. Oh, and then also Namor gets introduced in this at one point, and I don't know. It's just something short and cute. Oh, I also just realized why I love Eternals Only Death is Eternal so much is because I believe G. Willow Wilson worked on it. She also worked on Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel is my favorite comic. So yeah. Next we have probably my favorite comic, not favorite comic, but my favorite, comic hero, America Chavez. What do you mean an interdimensional Puerto Rican baddie is just out there just being fine? And she's got lesbian moms, and she's a lesbian? No, love it. This is the kind of retcon version of her story. There's multiple versions of her origin story, but this is like kind of like the new retcon version in the comics versus like the older version that came out with like the 2012 Young Avengers issue. In that issue, she was like from an interdimensional. Okay, no. If you want to know more about America Chavez, I'll make a video and why she's my favorite character. I don't want this video's getting long already. But we have America Chavez, made in the USA. Probably my favorite. And this is what really got me into my favorite comic artist, Gabriel Gomez. Like, no, he's insane. Getting into comics also made me realize that all comic illustrators are low-key gooners, but it's okay. I digress, I guess. But this is just such a cute story, like diving into America, her queerness, her origin, her family, and just how she lives her life and how she survives. And it's awesome. And Xochitl Gomez, I do love you, and I love the way you put on your performance, but I really wish they actually let an Afro-Latina play America, because yes, she's Latina, but she's also half black. She's half black. The problem wasn't that you weren't Latina enough, Sochi. It was that you weren't black enough. Where's the melanin? I'm sorry. Yeah. America Chavez, absolutely love her. My favorite comic hero. Like, nothing can beat her. Okay. I've moved you in so I can talk about these next ones a little more, so I don't have to pull them all out. I'm just gonna point to them and talk about them a little more. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, next I have... How many? I have 5 separate Miss America... Miss America. I was just talking about Miss America. I have 5 separate Miss Marvel comics. The first one I have is Miss Marvel Beyond the Limit, which is kind of like Miss Marvel meets time traveling Spider-Verse. Like time traveling into the Spider-Verse. Kamala kind of gets like transported to different dimensions and different time periods where she meets alternate versions of herself. It's just crazy. I picked it up for fun, and that's what it was. It was fun. It was insane, and it was cute, and I loved it. But next we have the official Miss Marvel run, the original one that came out all the way back in like 2011 by G. Willow Wilson. Miss Marvel No Normal. So far I own the first 4 volumes, but I want to read the rest of the series because again, she's my favorite character. She's probably gonna be my favorite. Again, Miss America is my favorite character, but Miss Marvel has to be my favorite comic run like ever. Like nothing can top that. She's insane, and she's such a badass. I'm beefed at them changing her powers in the MCU, but it does kind of correlate a lot better to Monica and Carol's powers because they have like energy light based powers. So it's like if you want to have her to really be truly connected to them, you have to kind of have her have powers like them, I guess, because like she really only chooses the name Miss Marvel because she really loves Captain Marvel. There's no really other deep connection between the two of them, and the Marvels is like no, they all have the same powers. I love the Marvels. It was a great movie, but like I could just go on and on about the changes and the differences between the comics and the MCU and why they were probably, some were good, some were bad, and some were wrong. And yeah, no, this was bad and wrong. And she's nothing like Mr. Fantastic. I could go on and on about how their powers are completely like different. Like yes, they can both like stretch, but they use them in complete different manners. Pissing me off. Anyways, yeah, I have those right there. And then followed by I have 2 Elektra comics. I have Daredevil Woman Without Fear, which is like a solo kind of issue, just going into Elektra and her taking up the mantle of Daredevil and just going on and fighting. And then I have Daredevil Lockdown Volume 7, which is a part of. I was talking about this in my November reading wrap up. It's part of the Known Fear run. Known Fear is the first issue, and this one is the 7th one. I own it mainly because this takes place in the 7th issue. Matt goes to jail. And while he's in jail, Elektra, his girlfriend, actually takes up the mantle of Daredevil and fights crime for him and keeps Daredevil on the street so that Hell's Kitchen can be safe and crazy stuff happens. Yeah, so I have that one on here because again, I love Elektra so much. And then I have Phoenix Song Echo, which follows. There's a whole bunch of. If you didn't know, the Phoenix Force is its own thing and has literally taken over like at least more than 10 separate characters in the Marvel universe. It just chooses someone and takes over. And this particular run follows if Maya Lopez, aka Echo, got the Phoenix Force. If the Phoenix Force entrusted itself into her. I don't know how to phrase that. But if the Phoenix Force was within her, it's awesome. It's crazy. It's beautiful. And I absolutely love Maya Lopez so much. I have her Funko Pop somewhere on my Funko wall. It used to be here, but I got more and more Funkos. I mean, I got more and more comics, so there was no room for her. But yeah, I love Maya Lopez. I want to read more of her comics and learn more about her. She's just such a badass. I love woke guys. I love insane superheroes. Like, no, what do you mean I have a blind superhero and a deaf superhero side by side? Oh, also, fun fact, in the comics, Maya and Matt, they're a thing. They're a thing. They have a whole way of communicating. It's a whole thing. The comics are crazy, guys. They are crazy. Und crazy. Okay, next we're going into my graphic novel section. Kind of. Okay, I'll do my very last comic and then I'll go breach into the graphic novels. So my very last comic is Bad Dream, a Dreamer story. It's a story that follows Dreamer, aka Nianal. She was originally an original character created for the CW show Supergirl. She was the first ever, I believe. No, I don't know if she was, but I have to Google. I don't know, but she's one of the first ever trans female characters who to become like a superhero shown on television. And her story is just so awesome and inspirational, and she was just like so well loved on like the show itself of Supergirl that they made her her own character, and they wrote her into the comic universe, and they gave her like her entire own origin story, and it's so crazy. But she's so awesome. But basically, she was obviously not born a woman, but she transitioned, and the whole part she's an alien, and the whole part of her alien powers and species is that only the women of her species get powers, and usually it's the eldest daughter, but only the women of their species get powers, and they get these like abilities to see the future and to dream things, and it's crazy. And he has an older sister who is biologically female, and all their lives their mother was telling them that their older sister was going to get powers, and that she had a dream that her daughter was going to get powers, and all this, and yada yada yada. And then one day Nia starts having visions instead of her older sister. And she's like she feels so bad that she's taking the powers away from her sister that she runs away from home in hopes that the powers will lead like her doing that will like have the powers leave her and go back to her sister, and it's so sad. It's so sad. She does not want to take her sister's destiny. But guess what? The destiny is hers. She's a woman through and through, and the powers choosing her, that's all the proof that they need that she's a woman. And it's insane. And she also what's really funny is she lives in this town that's like full of aliens, and they're all transphobic. It's like you are all illegal immigrants, but you draw the line at being transgender. Make it make sense. But yeah, it's such an awesome story. Like I was freaking out reading it, and it's so beautiful. And the way they like literally like visualize Nia's like prophetic dreams, it's like so insane. It's so insane. But yeah, now we're going really into the graphic novel section. The first one here we have is Demon in the Wood by Lee Bertigo. It's like it's like one of the parts about the Darkling's origin story, and like how it came to be and all this stuff. It's really sad. It's so crazy. I wish it was longer and like there was more to it, but it's a sweet, beautiful story that just like kind of goes into like how the Darkling became who he kind of is as a person. And then following up, we go into my Avatar comic section. I have more on the very bottom that we're gonna get to it towards the end that I'm gonna fly through briefly, but these are the ones that fit on this shelf. We have the Turf Wars Omnibus, which has all three like issues of Turf Wars, which is from the Legend of Korra. Which this is the story that follows. This is the one that follows directly after season 4 of Legend of Korra. It follows Kurosami's like cute little day in the spirit realm, their gay vacation, and then all the comeuppance that follows after season 4, and like they have to deal with the fact that the spirit portal is open and what that means and what's going to happen to the Republic City. It's crazy. It's beautiful. I loved it, and I love gays. I love sapphics. Let women kiss. Following up, we have three of the solo graphic novels that follow our female main characters. We have Suki alone, Toph Beifong's Metal Bending Academy, and Katara in the Pirate Silver. Suki alone follows Suki's time in the Boiling Rock prison and like how she got there and all that, and her time with Missoula. It's crazy. It's cute. It's beautiful, and it gives a lot more personalization and characterization to Suki, which I liked because I wasn't always a big Suki fan. She wasn't always my biggest favorite character because to me she felt like an insert, like she felt like her only purpose was to serve as Sokka's love interest, and that she didn't really have any development and any originality. She was just literally this girl that they brought in to beat the shit out of him and teach him that you need to be a feminist, being a fucking, being a piece of trash, right-wing man child is not a good thing. Maybe you should, learn to respect women. That's great. And then they like bring her in. And it's like, okay, yeah, now she's just gonna be your girlfriend. And I didn't see like to me she didn't have that much characterization and personalization. She served as a love interest. So this graphic novel really gives her a lot more personalization and characterization. Gives her a backstory. It makes her a whole person. It makes her her own character aside from being Sokka's girlfriend. So I liked it a lot. Toph Beifong's Metal Bending Academy, and all of the other kind of comic issues, graphic novels that Avatar put out that follow season 3 of Avatar. Toph opens a metal bending academy and starts teaching people how to metal bend, and that eventually leads her to becoming a police officer. But this one specifically follows Toph's. All of them, Toph's academy is like kind of like in the background. In the first one, it's kind of forefront, but the rest of them are like in the background. But this one really goes into Toph's time, teaching at the school, trying to find students, and then also inquires for the first time ever meeting a lava bender and seeing like all different kinds of sub bending, and it's awesome. It's sweet, and she has shenanigans. And Toph and Suki are also in not Toph. Sokka and Suki are also in this book, and they come and they visit Toph all the time, and it's so cute. And then we have Katara and the Pirate Silver, which takes place in season 2. Katara is separated from the rest of them, and she meets up with the pirate gang and has to like try to get back to her friends, but she also learns some things about herself. It's cute. It's sweet. And then we have Team Avatar Tales, which just like are just like little short stories that follow the ghosts that take place either during the the 3 seasons of Avatar or immediately post Avatar, but it's just like these cute little short stories. And then we have Patterns in Time, which are just it's kind of similar to Team Avatar Tales. It's just really short stories about the Legend of Korra during and post Korra. There's also one or two that take place before the Legend of Korra about Tenzin and Kaya, which are really cute. Yeah, this one's pretty much mostly Korrasami centered, and it was beautiful. And yeah, they're all just great comics. Yeah, read the Avatar comics. A lot of people I know haven't. It's like they're so good, and they added so much more to the story. You get to find out. You get to meet Zuko's mom. Next we have my 2 graphic novels by Molly Knox Oyster Tag. Absolutely beautiful. We love them so much. Like I just love the way that they write sapphic queer stories. Like if you didn't know, Molly's also married to Andy Stevenson, the creator of Nimona and also Sharon the Princess of Power. And Molly has also written multiple scenes for Lumity in the Owl House. So I could talk about them all day. But these 2 graphic novels are absolutely beautiful. The Deep Dark kind of follows a butch lesbian and a trans girl just like struggling in their small desert town, and it follows a lot about like intersectionality, and also just follows about like personal feelings and like the rage that you have within you, and that sometimes it's okay to like let yourself feel things. You don't always need to literally keep your emotions caged up, because that can lead to really, really bad consequences, as seen in this book. You need to be able to safely explore your emotions and express your feelings. And yeah, again, beautiful, stunning artwork. Love it so much. And then we also have The Girl from the Sea, which is a Selkie romance story, where a girl falls in love with a Selkie, and it has a really, really tragic ending, and it's so sad, but it's so beautiful. And then next we have Persephone, Hades' Torment, which I picked it up because I really, really love like Persephone and Demeter, and I love learning more about their like stories and their lore, and I really want to learn like as much as I can about Persephone and all the different iterations there are of her myth, and like all the different forms of it, and like how it progresses beginning to end. I'm not a big fan of the whole Hades kidnaps her thing. I'm more like a she consensually went kind of gal. So I saw this book and I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. Turns out it was just straight raunchy smut. But it is like a really sweet kind of retelling of, Persephone's story. But it's not super like accurate to Greek mythology, and there's a lot more like I wish they actually put actual like references to Greek mythology, and there's a lot of moments where like, oh, this is gonna happen, and then they're just like, okay, cut to after. It's like, I get this is a romance story, but you can't be like, we have this really big climactic thing that's gonna happen, and we're just gonna cut to after. Yeah. Anyways, but then we have the Raven Boys graphic novel, which I was talking about in my last video, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it already. But yeah, it's a graphic novel adaptation of a book that's already traditionally published. And then we have Everything Is Okay, which is a really short graphic novel. That's just like a bunch of really short like comics put together about like mental health and like struggling and just finding yourself and being together. And yeah, that's the rest for this shelf, because there's the books on here are library books, and I don't want to get too into them because I haven't read all of them. I'm gonna go to my very bottom shelf where I can talk about my last 3 or 4 comics. Yes, I did decide to go and lie on the ground for this. Am I gonna regret this? Yeah, it really hurts. I might get it out of frame because you can't really see. Okay, sorry, I'm not in frame. But we have my Avatar comics here and some other like loose books that don't really have like a specific section, and they're also too big to fit anywhere else. So I don't have all of the Avatar comics, but I do want to own all of them eventually. I'm gonna have to spend some money, but that's for when I'm not in school, because I've read all of the older ones. I haven't read the 3 newest ones, which are the Azula comic. There's one about Iroh and that badass hunter. And there's also a new Legend of Korra one that follows Bolin and Mako's like past and present, and it's sad as freak. Yeah, and then also there's gonna be a new one coming out next year, I believe, that follows Kaya's origins. So yeah, we love it. But in order I have, there's The Promise, The Search, The Rift, Smoke and Shadow, North and South, and Imbalance for Avatar. But I only have The Rift, North and South, and Imbalance. So in The Rift, it follows Toph mostly, and we go back to see Toph and her father. while also visiting this island that used to be really connected to the spirits, but it's no longer anymore because of like human devastation. And dark spirits come to attack, and Aang has to, be the Avatar and deal with past Avatar things and present Avatar things and yada yada. And it's awesome. And yeah, it's really sad for Toph. It's so sad for Toph. North and South mostly is Katara and Sokka's book. We go back to the north. We go back to the South Pole, and we find out that it's actually been gentrified. They gentrified the South. Um, like it used to just be like tents and huts and stuff. But they go back. After exploring the world and all this, and like defeating the war. And turns out the North Pole has completely renovated the South Pole to look exactly like the North Pole, and like crazy things are happening. And also like some people don't like it, and there's like this crazy like political thing going on in the background. It's really sad for Katara and Sokka. Yeah, it's sad for everyone in these books, bruh. But it's really sweet. And then we get to see Toph go down to the freaking South Pole, and like it's just so sweet. It's so cute. And then in Balance it follows. We go back to the city that takes place in the Rift. Which is called Cranefish Town, but it eventually becomes Republic City. What? Yeah, guys, we get to see the founding of Republic City in the Avatar comics. Who thought? Who thought? But we go back and we see how it's like sort of developing from Cranefish Town, the industrial city, to Republic City, and all the development in the building. And some people are really against it because it also was, I believe, and it's also kind of becoming a part of the colonies. Some people are pro Fire Nation colonies, some people are against it, but it was. Some people wanted to send like all the people, which is also another really big thing the Avatar comics focus on is the aftermath of the war and the colonies. Where the Fire Nation literally went ahead and colonized parts of the Earth Kingdom, which is eventually what Republic City became. And a lot of the Earth Kingdom people were like, send the Fire Nation people back. Some of them were like, no, it's okay. But a lot of the Fire Nation people were like, we have no other place to go. We were just upright moved from our houses and placed here, and our homes in the Fire Nation are destroyed. Like, what are we supposed to do? It's crazy. So there's a lot of like political stuff going on in the background of these Avatar comics. It's crazy. But the art style of this one, the art style changes drastically. They use Guhuru for the first 5, and then they switch to Peter Wortman, I believe, to do, and then also switch writers to become Faith Aaron Hicks. But yeah, they switch illustrators, and I prefer the new illustrator. Sorry, guys. And it's absolutely insane. The art style is beautiful. Love it. The ships that I like, they got fat as freak in here. Yeah, it's beautiful. And yeah, I as someone who watched Legend of Korra and was like, damn, I really wish they showed us a little more of Avatar. Reading these comics is insane. It's lovely. And if you don't really want to wait for those Avatar movies and figuring out, what happens between Korra and Avatar, read the comics because it shows you it's canon. It's everything that happens between, not like everything, but it's the stuff that happens literally immediately post season 3 and how it goes into what's going to happen in Legend of Korra. And then also I have here Ruins of the Empire, which is the second version to Turf, which Turf Wars is the first story that follows post Korra. Ruins of the Empire is the second one. It kind of goes into dealing with Kuvira and how she's dealt with, after all of that, and how, Kuvira's army and colonization is dealt with post, falling out, Korra saving everyone. And yeah, it's crazy. It's awesome. And then you can buy the Avatar comics in multiple ways. You can buy the individual 3-part issues. You can buy the omnibuses, and then you can buy these versions that I have here. That I forget what they're called. I talked about it before on my channel, but I forget. I'll probably insert it on the screen. But then you can also get these versions, which have like in-depth conversations from Brian and from Breiko, from Break, the creators of the comic, and they like talk about how they came about developing the story and how they did all this stuff and how they chose the artwork and stuff. And then it's also got like comments from the illustrators and the writers and how they make the certain decisions. And then at the very end, you get like sketches, development sketches for the actual like characters, their clothes, the pages of the comics, and also the cover art and stuff. And it's awesome. In the omnibuses, you get some cover art and some sketches, but you don't get the in-depth conversation with the author and the illustrators like you do in these ones. And then also I have 2 art books here. I have the art of Across the Spider-Verse, and I have the art of Encanto, because I absolutely adore those movies, and I'm an art freak, so I had to get art books for that. And then up here, I have a Taylor Swift magazine. I have 2 Empire magazines. One is for the Fantastic Four. One is for Avatar, Fire and Ash, because those are my hyperfixations. Those are my special interests. I love so I had to get those magazines. I want to put them on my wall, but I don't know where. And then I have a fanzine for Percy Jackson, because why not? I love Percy Jackson. And then I have a character design book, and then I have these 2 books that are kind of correlated to Avatar. They're called the Legacy books, Legacy of the Fire Nation and Legacy of Aang. They just kind of go like Legacy just talks about like immediately post, like not post, but like the gang's adult life, talking about the things they've experienced and stuff for their kids. And then the legacy of the Fire Nation is Zuko kind of like writing letters to Iroh, like throughout his life, and then everyone like writing letters to Iroh and then talking and dealing with his death, and it's kind of sad. Yeah, and then I have another Avatar fan sign up here that I don't want to talk about because people will cancel me for. And then I have not comics, but I have the rest of the Avatar books here. Oh my goodness, this video is way longer than I expected it to be. I am so sorry, editing Avery. I deeply apologize. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that little tour of my comic section. If you want to hear me talk about each individual comic separately in a different video, let me know in the comments below, because I'm totally down to do that. I love these comics so much. Like, they're all pretty much my special interest. I could talk about them each individually for hours and hours and hours on end. So if you want to know about them, let me know in the comments and I'll make videos about that. Because again, this channel I made specifically to talk about, art and books. So let's talk about art and books. Specifically, art and books together. Yeah. But yeah, if you like this video, maybe consider giving it a like, and if you like listening to me yap, I have plenty of other videos where I talk about other topics, so you could definitely check some of those out. And yeah, I'm doing bookmas this year, and I have 12 days planned, so hopefully I can get through all 12 days. And I hope to see you guys in day 2. Bye!